Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 90 of Pony 411. This is for the week of February 8th, and I'm Nemesis, and joining me yet again is Alca7raz here.
Hello.
Yeah, so, in case you didn't figure it out, which I would be surprised if you didn't, yeah, it's Valentine's Day, which means, well, every particular episode of Ponies, Hearts, and Hooves Day is the name of the game.
Yep.
But first, we have news, and an alarming amount of convention news, actually. But anyway, if you want to follow along with that, pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. All the links are there. So let's jump right in. Aforementioned convention news. Equestria Daily has compiled a list of conventions that IDW staff will be attending. So this is a little bit easier than trying to find them all. Because these are not pony conventions.
Just general conventions.
These are general comic conventions for the most part, like Emerald City Comic Con and whatnot. So if you want to meet these artists and writers, there you
Sounds
go.
a whole lot easier to stalk them.
People who are planning to go to the Thailand Pony Convention, I'm not sure how many attendees and listeners overlap, but if you want to go, you can now buy tickets. The Friendship Express convention in Malaysia is raising funds to get Vincent Tong on a Skype session. Speaking of which, BronyCan has announced Vincent Tong and Marie Kendricks. Anyway, PonyCon NYC has announced Ingrid Nelson, voice of Maud, and Mixer Mike, who is the creator of, well, you probably know, Flufflepuff.
Flufflepuff.
So yeah, he's going to be there, he's going to have a panel, and he's also going to have some merchandise available for you to buy, if that's what your thing. Speaking of PonyCon, if you want to be interviewed on TV, Nightline is looking for people, just don't make a fool of yourself. I know it's really easy to do on camera, trust me.
It's very easy to do on camera.
Just be level-headed. Anyway, BronyCon has an AMA over on Reddit, so if you're interested to find out some of the stuff that goes on with that, go check that out. You're going to have to sort through Reddit stuff. Sorry, no one's organized an actual list yet of answers.
Usually they do that pretty quickly. I'm surprised it hasn't happened.
Anyway, also BronyCon has made some guest announcements, namely Nicole Oliver and Agnes Garbowska. So, voice of Celestia and comic book artist.
Yep.
BabsCon has announced that Rebecca Choquette will be attending.
Neat.
So, yes, both voices of Twilight are going to be in one convention.
That'll be interesting. Maybe they'll talk to it. Well,
yeah, Rebecca Choquette's pretty awesome to meet too in person. So, nice person.
Yeah, she seems pretty cool.
Yep. In fandom news and whatnot, recently a scam appeared and then disappeared for a Brony cruise. While it was caught rather quickly and taken down, they may try something similar in the future. So just be really careful if you see something like this. Just don't throw money at it.
Do some research before you start throwing money.
Yeah, because this apparently is a scam done by someone who's done very similar stuff in the past. So
yeah,
and other.
That's how they caught it, because they went, wait, this looks familiar.
Yes, just people caught it because it just looked weird.
Yeah. Don't get on the ruse cruise.
Exactly. Right now, there's an effort to get Fall Equestria Pink Eyes printed. If you're interested and have the money, go sign up, because it's $25 for the base book, and depending where you live, will change shipping. Like for the US, $6. For Canada, $20.
I don't even want to know this for Australia or something like that.
Apparently, everywhere else internationally, it's like $25.
Oh, that's not too bad, but...
There you go. Do you play Starbound? Well, the Friendship is Magic mod was recently updated for the new version of the game, because the game itself just went through a massive update. You'll need an account on their forum to download it, though, so you can still check out the notes and whatnot there on the link. The Brony Thank You Fund is looking for artists for their 2016 calendar. So, if you're talented in the ways of the pen, or tablet pen,
or pencil, or whatever it happens you use for art.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
The Brony Study is doing a pre-season 5 survey. If you're interested in taking it, go take a look. Yeah, they've been doing these studies a lot, so they just want to see what the fandom's like leading up to season 5. In merchandise news, it appears that Hasbro is going to be re-releasing several toys under the Cutie Mark Magic line, including the Friendship Rainbow Kingdom playset and the Talking Princess Celestia, the white version.
The white version, not the pink version. I'm glad they stopped making pink ones.
Yeah, thankfully.
Thankfully.
Pink Celestia.
Yep. Now they have an actual pink
Yeah, but
princess.
these have been other re-releases apparently scheduled for Cutie Mark Magic, so it looks like they're just going to be re-releasing older toys. So I think some of these have been out of print for a while, so if you want them, get another chance, like say for Celestia, here you go. Cardorama, I think is the name. Yeah, Cardorama has released MLP hand, school, and shoulder bags, but only if you live in Italy.
Oh.
So, I mean, there's probably someone who'd be willing to export them elsewhere, but you never know. And apparently this company tends to be Italy only. Still,
They exist.
and it might be possible to get your hands on them. Anyway, Hasbro has released some commercials for Rock and Hairstyle, Equestria Girls dolls, and Cutie Mark Magic toys. So if you're interested in those, take a look. I think the most interesting fact about those is just what toys they have, as in a sense of Sunset Shimmer.
Yes.
One of the it's like particular, not the Equestria Girls one so much, but definitely the Cutie Mark Magic. Oh, like particularly, like, there's this little cart thing with charms. They apparently come with charms now.
Yes, and there's some main characters that are missing out of that too. It's like some of the main characters, but
Actually, most of them are there.
I think Applejack was left out.
Yeah, Applejack.
Which is kind of funny.
Applejack being replaced by Sunset in season 5.
Oh no.
Let's start that rumor going.
Oh god. Oh god. There's some people would be very upset.
Yeah. Images of Rarity's Boutique and Princess Twilight Sparkle's Kingdom playsets are available after being listed on Amazon and then apparently taken down. So if you get playsets or collect toys in general, go take a look or have a young one. New Funrise plushies have appeared at the London Toy Fair, and yes, that was a while ago, but the pictures have just started popping up recently, including the Ponyville box set, which is right now it's just stand-ins, but apparently it's kind of like Big Mac, Applejack, Lyra, or Sweetie Drops, and was it Apple Bloom? No,
I can't remember.
But yeah,
bunch of background characters.
Yeah, the design and draw plushies apparently is Rarity and Pinky, and it's going to be them, it's going to come with markers or something you draw on the plush.
Interesting.
And the Madame Pinkie Pie fortune-telling plush. It's going to come with like a little orb or something. It's going to probably be like a Magic 8 Ball.
Something like that, yeah.
And plus some new characters showing up like Apple Bloom and Sunset Shimmer. Yeah, Sunset Shimmer's finally getting an official plushie.
Yay.
It's Funrise, but hopefully other companies like 4DE follow suit.
And once they get their current line out, finally.
Yeah.
Still waiting on those to finally get
actually show up. And finally, in Equestria Girls news, the Sunset Shimmer's Time to Shine book now has a cover. It's interesting. Still nothing about the actual story, though. So
yeah, they use the art style for the dolls.
The Time to Shine doll, actually.
Yeah.
So it's written by Perdita Finn, so it's not GM Barrow, unfortunately, but she did the main event, which is the Rainbow Rocks tie-in, and the Rainbow Rocks book, which is the prequel to Rainbow Rocks, and yeah. Apparently they weren't not really well received. That's how we say. But anyway, that's the news. Yeah, most of it convention, but still.
And a fair amount of bacon main.
Yeah. I hope this is actually a sign of something, and I'm not.
Probably not.
Shh! Don't ruin me. Don't crush my dreams like that.
I will crush your dreams. You crush mine all the time.
Yeah, but you deserve it. Anyway, that's the end of the news. Like I said at the top of the episode, yes, we each watched Hearts and Who's Day again because, well, Valentine's Day is coming up, so it kind of makes sense.
Yep.
In case you don't remember, it's the episode where the Cutie Mark Crusaders decide to match Charlie with Big Mac, and when that fails, they go with a love poison. It turns out which is a bad idea, and then they have to stop them.
Yes.
And they learn a lesson about don't do that sort of thing. Don't ship irresponsibly.
A lesson a lot of us could probably use to learn.
Nah. But yeah.
Screw it. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, this was a mid season 2 episode. And I remember actually enjoying it a lot. And the thing was, this was actually a story behind this, because this was the first episode to release early. I remember that because I think it was the Wednesday before it was supposed to premiere. I had an iTunes season pass.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I had the iTunes season pass. I'm just going to download the old episode because I got an email telling me it was available. And then I noticed 2 episodes now. I'm like, what's going on? So I double check and I see the second one is Hearts and Who's Day. So I freak out. Oh. I pause the download on the Read and Weep and let Hearts and Hooves Day fans, just in case.
Just in case.
And then I went, yep, it's the real thing. It's a new episode. And it's like, yeah, and this is I was like one of the first people to actually kind of realize something was up.
Something, yeah. It's like
So me and it's like a couple other people started noticing that we were getting an episode early because I don't think it was I think the way iTunes works with this stuff is season pass people get it first, and then like an hour later it's available to buy individually on the store. So we were like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, it's like when they flipped the switch to turn the old episode on, they
what happened was
flipped the new one too.
Oh, I know what happened. Apparently the date was put incorrectly, so it released. As far as the system was concerned, it was already out. Its air date. Yeah, because it had the same air date as Read and Weep.
That'll do it.
According to it. So
yeah.
It released automatically.
I made a process.
So, of course, it was available in HD, no watermark, a couple days early. Of course, we all lost our minds.
Yeah.
The unfortunate side effect being it was a longer wait to the next episode. Yeah. But yeah, that was kind of a special thing in of itself because, like I said, first episode to release early or leak or whatever you want to call it. And the next one to do it was actually Too Many Pinkie Pies, which only released a few hours early. And then the next one was Wonderbolt Academy, which released several days early on the Hub website. Oops. Well, it wasn't released. It was just someone poked around and found it. Just sitting there, no encryption or anything, just kind of sitting there, MP4 available to just download. Yeah, that was probably one of those. That's one of those no one knows what went wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually speaking to the episode itself, though, it was one of those. I always wondered, did I like it just because I was so excited because I got an early episode, or is it because it was legitimately good? And I remember I rewatched it again, and then rewatched it again here, and yeah, it's actually legitimately good episodes. I think it's one of the better episodes, in fact, of season 2, which
especially for a CMC episode.
Yeah, especially for CMC. This was like one of the really. Oh, this wasn't the first, but this was definitely a really good CMC, surprisingly good CMC episode, and especially after like the cutie pox. And,
yes.
Yeah, that's the thing about season 2. I noticed was in general was just
it was up and down.
Yeah, like season 1 was very even, but it had a few downs, but they weren't as bad, and a few highs, but they were still very even overall. As season 2 went up, on, down, all over the place.
Season 2 had some of the best episodes and some of the worst.
Yeah, so
like, wow.
This is, I think, one of the better episodes. It's just fun.
It is. It's cringeworthy in a good way, I guess, if you want to say it.
Seeing Big Mac and Charlie talking, schnoopsy doopsy.
All of that.
And everyone in the show is just cringing, just ugh.
Yeah. One episode where Big Mac actually has some real dialogue.
It's all horrible.
It is all horrible. But it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
It was purposely bad, and it was hilarious in the fact that it was. It was good.
Yeah. And this was also, I think, one of the first episodes that really featured Charlie pretty heavily.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was, obviously there in previous episodes, but she was kind of like, she introduces the plot element or whatever, and then she's gone.
Yeah. It, like, starts out at the beginning.
Yeah, there was Family Appreciation Day, but she wasn't the focus. But this one was like one of the ones she was actually a focus, and
yeah.
And of course, as we found out later from Nicole Oliver, she was having a hard time keeping it together while doing the dialogue in this one.
Wasn't Peter New also having a problem?
Yeah, I think he was the one who was talking about the two of them were just having such a hard time doing this one because it was just, it's so dumb.
Yeah.
But it's so funny.
Hard time keeping a straight face during recording.
Especially if I recall, they're actually making faces at each other too. So.
Yep. I vaguely remember Peter New talking about that at Everfree, the next Everfree after this aired.
Something like that.
Because I remember, if I remember correctly, he was there.
Yeah, he was. This was the year he played Jenga with Danger 11, I believe.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah, in itself. But
yeah, it was great.
Yeah, the thing about this episode was, well, a lot of people have jokingly said this is the anti-shipping episode in a sense, but it's not. It was obvious. I mean, this was made well before the fandom was known about by the show staff, just because of how things are. Well, not well before, because this was after the last roundup, which, well, they put Derpy in just for us, and then, well, that happened. Anyway, but this was, they're aware of us, but they didn't know how big we were or anything. So it's not like they knew about our the fandom's proclivity for shipping, or just like every fandom.
Yeah,
but it was. I don't think it was supposed to be an anti-shipping episode, but it was. It was kind of funny how much it did resemble a lot of shipping. It's just, You two belong together because I said so.
It was kind of funny how they did it. They threw out the whole song, which probably should talk about the song a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they end up choosing Big Mac not as much because he's, the perfect one. It's because he's the last one they could find.
He's available. He seems okay enough.
Yeah, it's like, are you taken? Nope. Good.
Yeah, pretty much. Do anything for Hearts and Hooves Day.
That was kind of hilarious. But yeah, that song.
Yeah, that was an interesting little song.
It wasn't a bad song.
No, it wasn't. It was a
pretty
fun
good
song. I actually liked that song.
Yeah, it was a good song.
It's
but
fun.
It revealed a couple things too. Some things that have stuck in the fandom, like Hugh Jelly.
Jelly Pony.
The Jelly Pony. That was just so off the wall. It's like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell did that come from?
He had made one of the best faces ever, though. There's actually a lot of good faces in this episode too.
Some great,
particularly from Charlie.
Faces. Oh, Charlie's really expressive, and it's great.
Yeah.
It did kind of feature something that kind of grew much later. Button.
He was called High Score, though.
He was called High Score,
but then the fandom
so we didn't attach to it. It took us a while.
Then Jan Animation's just like, no, he's Button Mash, and then
Button Mash.
That's the name that stuck because he's so insignificant. Before that, no one really cared, and then he just took that and called him Button Mash, and now all of a sudden, that's his name. Although if he ever shows up, he's probably going to be referred to as High Score and make people angry. It's like, you guys do know that
that's the original name, right? Yeah.
That was a thing, though. That was his first appearance, and then also saw, hey, look, acknowledgement of death.
There was a funeral.
Happy, bouncy song about love, and there's a funeral. They interrupt a funeral. It's like,
ooh,
class.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, there's an actual funeral. Acknowledgement of death.
Although, there was a sort of acknowledgement, not really death, but kind of dark themes in the episode before this, Read and Weep.
Yeah.
Dash goes back and it looks like he's got one of the...
Yeah.
He's got cancer. Or
obviously in pain. Like, but still, this is like... Oh, man, that's a thought. What if it was his funeral?
That actually was one of the common things was, we're seeing the funeral for the pony that looked like had cancer in the previous episode. It's like, oh, wow. That's
kind of a happy, bouncy song about love.
Yeah, that's like, wow.
Yeah, one thing I did like was that little bit towards the end where they're doing that weird dance walk thing where like their hind hoof they keep raising and lowering their hand, that weird. Yeah, I like that little animation there. Oh, I just like the very, very awkward and obvious attempts to get them together that completely and totally fail just because together.
Yes, Sweetie Belle.
Two of you.
Okay, just
together.
Sweetie Belle in general through that whole thing.
Like obviously the first been listening too much to her sister.
Yeah. And the whole, oh come on!
That was the best scene.
Great.
That was the best scene. Just the oh come on.
That was just perfect. That was amazing.
But
I'm a little surprised that Scootaloo went along with it.
Yeah.
I would think she'd immediately react like, ooh, no, that's uncool.
But they're trying to do something nice for Charlie.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because he's not the one being shipped. Everything's fine.
Yeah, the fandom takes care of that one. We won't go there.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But I just, what was I thinking of? I like the, just the end in general. Also, just the craziness of just trying to keep them apart.
Oh God.
And it's just insane. I love the noise that's made when they're in the jewelry store. And every single time Big Mac nods, you just hear this little bobbly noise, and I just love that noise.
Yeah, that was great. Yep. No, that was just great.
Yeah, and then we also find out apparently, I'm not sure if it's a side effect of the poison or just Earth Pony strength in general, but they're just smashing through things.
Holy crap! They
like you kind of expect from a Big Mac, but Charlie also just
blasts a hole in the side
of the carousel.
That's another question. How is Sweetie Belle going to explain to Rarity why there's a giant hole in the side of her shop building?
Opal did it.
That's
I just can't imagine that. Just Sweetie Belle, just Opal did it.
Opal did it. It's half believable too. Opal's not exactly the nicest cat.
So like every other cat.
Yeah, basically. Basically, yeah.
I'm not sorry, cat lovers.
I have a cat.
I had to live for cats for 2/3 of my life.
I've had cats almost all my life. We have one right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a don't like cats too much, except for the occasional special exception.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of funny. Big Mac dragging a whole house.
Yeah, that's alarming too.
That's very alarming. It's like, oh, holy crap, he's strong.
There was another. Oh, I remember the song. I noticed this fandom has a proclivity for saying mare friend and cult friend, but then that song they dropped the word girlfriend.
It did.
Just blew that whole idea, that whole naming system out the window.
Yeah, we just try to make horse puns though.
Yeah.
Which I'm a little surprised they didn't go for that. Because the show staff seemed to like the horse puns too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really a pun. It's just kind of a. It's the good old just replace this normal word with something else just because
they do that a lot in the show.
It's not really a pun at that point, but it's just they drop girlfriends like. It's the one time and only time I think they've ever actually used a term of that sort. So.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's like, oh wow, all these fanfics are now canonically wrong.
Oh no, like that's a new thing.
I know, right? Because all fanfics follow canon to the letter.
God, no. I'm just remembering a few, and I was like, holy crap, no. Did you even watch the show?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
It's a really good episode, a really good, surprisingly good CMC episode, and it's just funny watching this, and it's just funny watching Charlie, well, who's normally calm and collected, and well, not being calm and collected.
Yes.
And this love, that reminds me of the love poison thing in general, the story behind it.
The ingredients.
But yeah, that's kind of an odd thing. Just hey, let's publish the ingredients to this really
so anyone can make this
dangerous thing. So it's like,
I mean, I could understand Twilight having access to that, but you would think that would be in a different section that she'd know not to just hand
it might also it seems like it's one of those things. It's just like it's in the history section. Yeah. Oh, you want to learn about the history? Here you go.
Yep, and this is exactly how they
did it. Yeah, but it's just I don't know. Maybe they thought it would be more difficult to put the ingredients together. Who knows?
Apparently not.
But the whole thing around the love poison, though, what I was thinking of, the story behind it was the prince and princess drinkage, and I've noticed a lot of people did this, and there was nothing so far to disprove it. But it's they thought that the princess was Chrysalis. Later on, remember?
I remember though.
That's a very big thing.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Fanon. Yeah. Not again.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's a really nice theory because nothing really has disproved it. Really, I mean, there's been multiple theories about changelings, but this was a nice one. It just kind of ties back into previously established stuff, which is because it's a princess. If you look at the artwork, horn and wings.
Yeah, well, she's a queen. She has a crown.
Yeah, she's a queen. She has a horn and wings, which I like all changing. But it's like one of those. It's interesting things. They don't really say the final fate. Just the kingdom fell into chaos because
they couldn't take their eyes off.
It seems to be implied. It's not a question or whatever it was. But yeah, it's like it's interesting. It's like, what if that somehow affected Chrysalis, or that was Chrysalis, and that's
how we get changelings
then from there changelings who kind of
feed off of love.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Although there was another take I saw, which was that was actually Celestia, and because of the way the love poison worked, it made it so she was literally incapable of loving like that ever again. That was an interesting one I saw.
That's kind of dark.
Yeah. But it was a dark thing because I remember this was an old Twilestia fic, and Twilight confesses, and Celestia says that Celestia seems to reciprocate, but Twilight seems to notice that Celestia seems to be going through the motions, and she finds out. Then Celestia reveals this whole story about the love poison, and yeah, it was an interesting way. But yeah, I like the Chrysalis. That as Chrysalis origins. I like that.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't know who the stallion is, and probably no one cares about that bit.
No one cares. I don't know. We might be seeing Chrysalis Origins or whatever on this upcoming comic.
Yeah, although that one seems to be... I'm reading synopsis, seems to be more...
During the time after banishment?
more current, as in some reason the main six are talking to her for some reason. Who knows? But still might be she's telling them where she came from. Who knows?
Flashbacks.
Any which way, it was approved, so it's one of those. It's canon until the show says otherwise.
Yep.
Remember that.
Yep. Comics and books are canon unless they contradict the show.
Yep.
If it's got a Hasbro label on it,
it's been approved.
Yep.
Anyway, so that was just an interesting little tidbit that, at the time it was like, that's a neat little story. And then Candlelit Wedding shows up and like, people just kind of draw the connection.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I don't think it's been officially commented on any way. Because, sometimes someone will straight up ask and they say maybe or no or yes. But I know it's extent like to dodge questions because that way they don't have to commit to anything.
Yep.
Or if they're already saying something, they might reveal some future thing, and they don't want to do that. But yeah, this is just a great episode overall.
It was a really good episode. It's
also
worth a rewatch.
Because it's just so funny because it's like everyone in universe is cringing at the whole the really sappy love speak.
Saccharine.
Yeah,
is the word.
Saccharine love, and although it is also super sappy, but it's like ugh. Everyone's just like, ugh, this is so gross.
Yep.
Really? And I just could think of I don't know, just imagine Mrs. Cake just like, were we like that? I hope not. Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah.
I just love that. Even happily married person is just like, ew. This is gross.
This is over the top even for us. Yeah.
I also like this the initial thing of just, and of course we still how did the glasses go from the ground into their hooves pointing up towards the sky right there? How did they pick them up and rotate their hooves without spilling the drink?
Magic.
But
it's magic.
But they're earth ponies.
Well, we already confirmed they all have magic.
But
no tears.
But I want to poke holes in stupid little things and get all angry about it.
You're not alone, apparently. You are not alone.
Yeah, but
granular jamming.
Yeah,
doesn't explain the rotation, but whatever.
Oh well. Yeah, this is an overall just fun episode, and it's weird because the whole we haven't even kind of really addressed this so much. Chairmac. This is where Chairmac really took off.
Yeah, this is the beginning.
And also, this was also pretty much the death knell of Fluttermac.
Oh.
That was used. Remember, that was pretty popular, but that's kind of died off.
It's still there. I still
pops
see
up
it,
here and there, but
it hasn't been growing that much.
I don't know. What's weird that so many people just hated Chairmac or Fluttermac for a long.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's like, it's popular, and there's the other people I hate it.
Yeah,
it's like it's so evenly split and just became so Chairmac focused, which also killed some other ships at the same. Yeah, like I said, the Fluttermac ship was kind of killed because it's one of those sort of maybe.
They shipped
at the end. It's at the end of the episode. It's like maybe they're together.
Maybe yeah.
Or getting together.
Because that and then, wink is like they're doing it on purpose. To mess with
they're messing with the CMC. But yeah. But after this, we kind of in the background of see them hanging out together. There was the Philly Vanilli episode where Charlie pretty much faints when Big Mac quote unquote is singing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of those. They're not really implying one way or the other if they're together. It's one of those. I think they intentionally left this one open. It's open.
Yeah, they left it out on purpose.
But yeah, oh man, when people found out about the Hearts and Hooves, I remember that reminds me of something else. When the title was found, but we had no synopsis yet. People were losing their minds.
Hearts and Hooves.
Hearts and Hooves Day air date. Right next to Valentine's Day. Everyone's like, oh my god, are they going to actually give the main six boyfriends or something?
Oh god,
people were losing their minds.
I vaguely remember that.
And then find out, it's about Charlie and
Big CMC. Okay.
And CMC.
And everyone went, okay, we're good with this. This is much better.
It's about Charlie. Yeah, Sunk Charlite. I remember that. That was a fairly popular one until this episode, and now it really only pops up once and twice here and there. Although that reminds me of the Pixel Kitties comic. Where it's just they're wondering how it works. It was just a funny little thing. It's just the CMC wondering how the love poison works, and Sweetie Belle makes some long technical explanation, which is funny. Drops a reference to Harry Potter as well, but basically the idea is because it messes their eyes in such a way they see their object of their affection. And the joke was Charlie sees Twilight, Big Mac sees Smarty Pants.
Smarty Pants. Referencing that.
Yep. So I like this. This has spawned a lot of stuff about, and then later on we got more love stuff with Cadence later on, which Cadence could have had a field day here.
Oh, Cadence would have loved that.
Look, girls. I'd like to see this, but your technique needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's funny. It still holds up very well. It's a very funny, silly episode with lots of funny faces and a fun little song and Jelly Pony.
Jelly Pony. I don't know why Blue Blood was back in Ponyville. That was a bit
sort of him.
It was the same character design, same cutie mark. Yeah, it was just like...
He's trying to get away from Canterlot and not really understanding the whole blending in thing.
Yes.
He was sure that crazy mayor from the Gala would never find him here.
Not quite.
It's Blue Blood, though, so it makes sense that he would do something like that, exactly like that.
Not the brightest. Yeah.
Oh, and another news, Caramel. How's a girlfriend?
Yes, so all of your caramel ships, which there are quite a few...
Mostly Big Mac, oddly enough.
I've seen a lot of Big Mac and Twilight.
Yes. And sometimes Applejack.
Sometimes Applejack, yes.
But not anymore.
It's just like, we already see he's taken.
Also, this episode is a meta joke. An apple for the teacher.
Ha. 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 Ha.
It's one. Yes, I just ruined it all for you just because you all realized that was the whole joke of the episode.
That was the whole joke.
An apple for
the teacher.
Yeah. I think we can't really go too much more about this because it's a fun episode, but it's a fun episode. I enjoyed it. It still works well. Watch it again. Why not?
Yeah, go watch it again. It was a great episode.
It's almost Valentine's Day. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Why not? What else are you going to do?
Definitely worth a rewatch.
What else are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
Do you actually have a life or something? But anyway, this episode, of course, we got fanfics now.
Yes.
Because we got no fan music.
Because I do not have any music this week. Yeah. I'm sorry.
He got infected with my inability to find things.
Yep.
You seem to be passing this back and forth. It's like the flu or something.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, I have two stories. Surprise, since it's, we're talking about Hearts and Hooves Day, they're both kind of shipping.
Oh, boy.
Because I ignored the lesson of that episode. Because I'm going to ship who I want when I want. You got to deal with it. But anyway, the first one is called Pinkie Pie Swear and is by Anuska. Anyway, this is about Sonata and Pinkie, what surprised me was this is not very common. I realized that you'd think this would be more of a thing, but it's not.
It isn't.
This is only literally the second time I've seen it. Another one was just kind of a thing in the background of a fic. It wasn't even the main focus. But anyway, this one takes place between Equestria Girls and Rainbow Rocks and of sorts.
Of sorts.
Yeah, it's before Rainbow Rocks for sure. But it's basically the Dazzlings go into Sugar Cube Corner, though I believe it's not supposed to be Sugar Cube Corner in the Equestria Girls world, but whatever. A lot of people still call it Sugar Cube. Anyway, so Sonata meets Pinkie and and then Sonata starts seeing her every week, and they start kind of, there's an obvious attraction there, and then Sonata starts to freak out because of the whole she's a siren, all that stuff. And as of right now, it's now just gotten to Rainbow Rocks, and it's obviously also alternate universe. But I wanted to talk about this one because it's a very rare ship, a surprisingly rare ship, I should say. And it's also just kind of in itself interesting.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's interesting. I'll put it as an okay. It's definitely one I'm going to keep watching. I did kind of like how a lot of the narrative, especially in the first chapter, is written basically from Pinkie Pie. You read it and go, yeah, this is definitely Pinkie Pie voice.
Yeah.
Going on the whole thing. But yeah, they definitely need the alternate universe tag. Because I really don't see how they could continue at this point without
they just got to Rainbow Rocks,
some things.
I'm not sure. I want to see how he fits it in with the Rainbow Rocks thing. I say he's going to have to change something.
He's going to have to change things because there's no way Rainbow Rocks would have went the way it did in the movie if these things actually happen.
Yeah, but it's still interesting.
But it's definitely interesting. I want to see where he takes it.
Yeah, because like I said, it's a surprisingly rare. You'd think it would be more common considering the two personalities, but it's not.
Yeah.
Of course, I think part of it's just because people are so. Once Cheese Sanders showed up, people are just that became the prevalent Pinky ship.
Yeah, and people like to ship Sonata and Aria.
Or Sonata and Sunset.
Or those two.
Yeah.
Or tacos. Sonata taco.
So not a taco.
So not a taco. Sona taco.
But yeah, go check it out. It's a surprisingly rare ship, which I'm surprised isn't more common. Who knows? Maybe this sort of thing will inspire it to be more common.
Possibly.
Maybe. I don't know. It's interesting in its own right. Anyway, the other fic I have is 3 Little Words by Shod.
Shod.
And not surprising because I am trash. It's trash. Sunlight.
Yes. Can't go a single episode with a fic that doesn't have one
or the other.
One or the other or both.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Anyway, it's basically, it starts off with Sunset kind of nervous because she's trying to tell Twilight something. She's just kind of a little freaked out about doing it. And also kind of throws a curveball at you when it does it because based off the fic and the tags, and you think it's going to be one. You think you know what phrase it's going to be, and then you go, oh, nope, it's not that phrase at all. But anyway, it also reveals that Twilight is kind of and pretty much enamored with Sunset, and it's kind of very lighthearted initially, but most recent chapter has started something new. It seems to be starting up a story. I'm not sure where it's going with it. I am interested in where how things are, because now we're like, oh look, we're gonna do some little adventure type of thing. So I want to see where it goes. But yeah, it's mostly lighthearted. It's just kind of the two of them kind of dancing around for a while, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do want to see where it goes. The thing they did right at the end, it's like,
the real recent chapter. It's like, that's a new development.
That's interesting. How are you going to handle that one?
Part of it is also just I like that first chapter because you think for sure know what's going to happen, and nope, gotcha.
Yep.
And the second chapter also has some nice actual.
The second chapter.
It's the Twilight's perspective. I like it just because of the.
I remember I had to stop and go back and reread some things. I think there's some slight pacing. Nothing huge. It's just I had to.
I just like this one line of a dash being dash. Because would you stop talking about it?
For 5 minutes?
Yeah, I like that. That's exactly. It's like that. This guy seems to have gotten the characterizations pretty well nailed down.
Yeah.
So
I think every now and then there's a couple pacing problems, but it's minor.
Yeah, so I like this one. It's definitely. I'm keeping my eye on it, of course.
Of course you are.
Yeah, although there's been a couple of flood of sunlight recently, although a lot of them are not exactly the best written. Like one that constantly switches narratives.
Oh, I hate it. It's like multiple people are actually writing
multiple points of view. We go from third person to third person to.
Oh, it can be done. You can do that, but you have to be very careful with it.
He wasn't careful with it. Anyway, so go check these two out. It's Valentine's Day stuff. Arts and Hooves Day.
Didn't you feature a much shorter fic with the same title as that last one, 3 Little Words? Because it sounded familiar. I don't know. But anyway, that's minor.
I think it's because I told you about it before.
Oh, well.
Anyway, so that brings us to the end of this kind of short episode.
Yeah.
Not the shortest, but still.
Not super short.
Anyway, if you enjoyed it, or, babbling about old episodes and stuff, you can listen to past and future episodes. Go to pony411.libsyn.com. It's Libsyn. Make sure to spell that right. It can be easy to mess up.
Yep.
Or you can also go, if that's a little too hard for you to remember or something. I don't blame you. Could be easy to mess it up. You could also go to iTunes and just search for Pony411 and subscribe there. All the episodes are there, and it's real easy to do that. You can also go to YouTube, youtube.com/pony411. Again, every single episode's there. And you can also go to Stitcher, stitcher.com, or the apps on Android or iOS. Search for Pony411 there. Find us, find like or similar podcasts if you want. Or if you just don't want to download anything or search, go to Ponyville FM every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're airing there. So, if you want to not download Ponyville FM, cool. They also have some really awesome music, especially beforehand. I would recommend tuning in at least an hour beforehand to listen to Lion Eyes. He does some awesome mixes every week.
He does, huh?
And also recently Elements, I think it was Elements of Harmony, but yeah, it's another show 2 hours beforehand. It's also really nice. Both of those just really nice live mixes. So just dedicate this whole 3-hour block of your time to listen to cool stuff. Some
Drop
music, then us talking, and then some more music.
Yep.
Can't lose. Anyway, you can also contact us. Give us feedback. We like feedback.
We do.
It helps us get better. You can go to email us at pony411podcast@gmail.com. Criticisms. We can take them if they're helpful.
Uh-huh.
Or if you have, say a story or a little group meetup or something you want us to talk about, you could give it to us there too. You're also at facebook.com/pony411. We regularly update there with the new episodes. There's also Twitter. We're at pony411. We, again, episodes and the occasional goofiness and bad jokes.
Bad jokes.
Really bad jokes sometimes.
Yes.
I'm not sorry for those. Like I said, I will not apologize.
He's really not.
You can also contact us via our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at Alca7raz with an underscore at the end and a 7 instead of a T. I believe that's it. So, tune in next week. We'll be doing something. We're getting close to the big 100.
Oh boy.
It's coming.
Triple digits.
Hopefully by then we'll have something lined up. Hopefully we'll have something lined up for next week.
Yes.
Don't worry about it though. We got it. We got this. Anyway, until then though, please pony responsibly.